How are we starting?
I don't know. How are you?
We already did this. I'm not doing
You don't want to fake that
I'm not
for the cameras?
faking the how are you.
Hey! Oh my god!
Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice. What's your name?
Owen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Okay, that's a start.
It's not Christmas though.
So what?
It's Christmas somewhere. Hey, welcome back to Plot to Go. Episode number 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I'm Jack.
I'm Owen S.
Owen S.
Severance.
Oh, nice. I'm Jack. Oh, fuck yeah. I'm
Yeah.
Haley.
Oh, Jack Carr and
Jack
Owen
R.
S.
And Owen S.
Fantastic.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Am I a... Does that work?
Am I
No. I was going to say, are you a Mark and am I a Haley? Like if we were to...
Yeah.
I also think
Yeah, I think we fill those characters better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I walk down a hallway, I am fucking sauntering like...
And you have the video of me doing the Mark S
the
dance.
Mark S
so,
dance.
Yeah.
Should I insert that here?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Here's a clip from Owen in a club doing the Mark S dance.
Oof.
You make it a bit more jazzy than Mark does, though.
What do you think? You think there's more in it?
Yeah, I definitely think there's more in it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make this a poll on Spotify as well. Is Owen's dance moves more jazzy or less?
That means you have to remember to put the video in. It'd be funny if you thought you put the video in and then just asked the poll.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really funny. If you can tell, today we're talking about Severance. It'll be a little while, I guess, since the finales came out when this comes out, just because we both had to wait a while to watch the finale.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hopefully
Almost
people have
two.
been caught up. It's very good.
Yeah, it was very good.
No spoilers.
Oh, no spoilers.
Oh no. We might do a spoiler free and a spoiler bit.
The spoiler free is gonna be like 5 minutes.
Let's just do spoilers. Who's watching the end of a season review for... Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And we're also talking about two amazing films as well. Snow White and Flow. I feel bad looping Flow in with that because Flow is actually good. So buckle up. But before we get into those reviews, you want to talk about some Marvel news.
Oh, yeah. They released the cast of... Or some of the cast.
Yeah.
Of Doomsday. If this is all of the cast, then what the fuck is this film?
Yeah.
I honestly, I didn't see anything about it. The first thing I saw was like Soups being like, what are they doing? Like, this isn't interesting. Just every 20 minutes they show a chair with a name on it.
Yeah.
This is the worst way of revealing people. And then I saw who they revealed and I was like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, like, cool. But I saw Stoops, like Jay Stoops talking about she loves the X-Men, like the characters and stuff. She loves those films. She's waiting for them to actually cast the X-Men in the MCU. Yeah. Like, we've not got that. We just keep getting variants all the time, which is like fun and fan servicey, and like that's kind of what Deadpool and Wolverine was for. Like,
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Just like we've already had like the alternate version of Beast at the end of the Marvels, but they've hinted X-Men are mutants in the MCU with Kamala Khan.
Yeah. So like,
just give us them.
Yeah. I actually think as well, Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm sure we spoke about this when we watched it. It felt like a chapter closed on the whole Fox X-Men stuff. Like, the credits of those movies is like this
send-off
retrospective and like behind the scenes of all of those movies. And it in my opinion, it just feels weird to like bring them back again.
Yeah. I think we were all expecting it. I mean, Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, my god. Hugh Grant is Oompa Loompa.
Hugh Grant is going to be Wolverine till he's 90.
Surely he's not far off there.
Bridget Jones.
Do I make you horny? Bridget Jones.
Jones.
Claws.
Yeah.
It's a very
different version of Wolverine.
I honestly think Hugh Grant's Bridget Jones character would get on better with Deadpool than Wolverine does.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, they would. oh, did you see Bridget Jones? Naughty.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And Ryan Reynolds like, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, they'd be quipped to camera. They'd be like, they got away with this in the 2000s.
Oh, you think Hugh Grant would like
No,
be fourth? Oh,
Deadpool would be like, they got away with this in the 2000s. Yeah.
She's not fat. What's he on
They
about?
keep calling her fat. She's nowhere near fat. Everyone's been veered away from the Marvel.
A lot.
Who else did they cast? They cast like James Marsden, who's Cyclops, without Jean Grey and Wolverine.
Yes.
Like, it feels like they're a trio in those films.
Yeah.
Alan Cumming is Nightcrawler. Who we've not seen in 20 years.
Yeah.
Mystique, 2006 was the last time we saw her. Mm-hmm. I think there was only the 6 of them.
Yes, there was only 6 X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't...
Channing Tatum.
That's true.
I'm interested in that.
I'm not.
I want to see him again.
I kind of want the movie to be serious.
But there has to be like funny moments in it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think this is the problem with doing the reveal the way they did. I was not excited by this at all. I thought it was really boring. And I also just think, save that stuff. I would rather know Kamala Khan's returning. Moon Knight's returning. Like, the people we've seen.
Sure.
Instead of like, here's 6 cameos that are going to be here for 2 seconds.
Where's Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye?
Yeah, but stuff like that.
Also, we don't really know what's going on with Spider-Man as well. And like, fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Give us Spider-Man.
Do you wonder, because I did wonder this when they started doing the chair reveals, if it was revealed in order, not the entire thing, but at the start it was revealed in order of like importance. So like, Chris Hemsworth Thor was first.
That seems like an actual announcement, because it's like, oh, we're getting Thor back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Anthony Mackie.
Makes sense too. The leader of the Avengers.
Yeah, but then I was expecting like Brie Larson. Brie Larson wasn't announced
the
at
next
all.
leader of the Avengers. Like, that would have made sense.
This feels like a cap on the, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing this like saga.
Yeah.
Because it's like all of the however many 30 projects we've announced or we've filmed, most of them aren't actually didn't get like a chair. The people that got chairs were the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, who their movies haven't came out yet.
Yes, and people were like, "Well, that sucks because now we know who makes it through the Thunderbolts."
Through the Thunderbolts. Oh, I wonder which Thunderbolts die. People have known from fucking trailer 1. Taskmaster is in the trailers every time for like 2 seconds.
Oh, sure, like
and
an
nobody
uninteresting
likes
character. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think
Taskmaster? No.
This whole like saga has just felt like reactionary.
Yeah, totally.
They're like, oh, let's do this.
Swinging.
We'll do. I feel like I can imagine Kevin Feige just being like, oh, I didn't like this one either. He's just sitting at a desk being like, what do I do?
When they like one, they're like, fuck, we went the other way for the next one. Shit. I really have little faith in it, sadly. And I wasn't on that bandwagon of like the Russos are going to do a bad job, and I think I was a little disappointed. I don't know what your reaction was to the Russos being announced, because I'm like, oh, it would have been interesting to see a different filmmaker, given that they like helmed the end of a saga.
I had mixed feelings where I was like, oh yeah, I want a different filmmaker, but also like, has a single one proven themselves within the MCU like since
Endgame?
Because like the Russo brothers, I remember when we got through Winter Soldier and Civil War with them, and that was like fantastic. We got through 2 Avengers films. The first one was solid. The second one was like meh. I'd still say it's good. It's just like compared to the first one, it just didn't hit quite as well.
I agree.
And then so when the Russo brothers got announced for the next 2, and we'd watched them handle Civil War, it was like, oh thank God. But now we're in this world where like the Russo brothers,
the grey man and fucking the Electric State.
I don't even like care that they've not made like great films outside of the MCU. Yeah. I feel like it's what they've been handed to them, and now they have to pull it all together.
Yeah. They have proven themselves to work well under a corporate machine. Yeah. Which, say what you will about that, and how much of a say they actually have over the movies that they've made. And I wouldn't have said that had they not went away and made shitter after shitter. I would have given them more credit, but now I'm like, I don't know. Because I may be getting this wrong. The Electric State was written by some of the people who they've worked with in Marvel.
I have genuinely no idea. I don't want to look up who wrote the Electric State.
No.
I'm not interested.
Because then, if it is, that makes me fully feel like it is. Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the people who wrote all of their movies. So, Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, and The Winter Soldier were all written by these pair of guys.
And then they also wrote The Grey Man and Electric State.
This is fascinating. Yes, I know. So I'm like, do they just work well in that machine? Interestingly, they wrote the first Avenger. Solid. They wrote Thor: The Dark World, which is crazy. What? That's a crazy lineup. And then they wrote the 3 Narnia movies.
Oh, which I mean, the first one's really good.
I like Prince Caspian.
I bet you do.
Okay.
The Dua Lipa version.
The Dua Lipa version, of course. Nah, Ben Barnes is... Yeah.
Oh, I forget that's who that is.
Yeah.
Because it's like genuinely like a different person from like by the time he's in Punisher and Westworld and stuff.
Oh my god, he is in Punisher. That's, yeah, crazy. Think we're getting him returning?
No.
No? Ben
I've
Barnes?
not seen the second season of Punisher, so I don't know where that
Not an
character
Avengers
goes.
Doomsday?
Oh my god. I was talking about the Howard the Duck What If episode yesterday.
Oh, why?
I was just shitting on the MCU.
Oh, okay.
Because I was never one of those people that was like a hater.
Yeah.
And like now I'm getting to that point where
I
I'm
am as
like,
well.
Like, I'm not watching the Daredevil show. Because I don't care.
Yeah.
And like, I still don't want it spoiled for me. But like,
you will watch it.
Because I will watch it, and I'm sure there'll be like interesting enough stuff in it. But like, I'm not excited for like any of it now.
Yeah. Are you excited for Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four?
I wouldn't say I'm excited for either of them. I'm really interested to see what they do with Fantastic Four.
Yep.
And I'm sure I'll have like some hype around Avengers when the first trailer for it drops, which God knows when. They're in production now.
They're in production.
If they really want the film to look good, there'll be a substantial amount of post-production.
Mm-hmm.
Where would that take us up to?
It's scheduled for next year, I'm pretty sure.
What, like May?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, because it's a summer
Yeah.
blockbuster. Avengers Doomsday. I wanted to ask, obviously they were like, stay tuned, we're announcing more cast. Who do you want to see / who do you think will get more nights? It's May next year.
I want them to do, like, I wish they'd set it up in such a way that the Marvel comics have different teams. And I think that's what makes it quite interesting. Like, you have a team of, like, X-Men characters that don't always see eye to eye with the Avengers. And then even the Avengers are split up in different ways. Like, it seemed like they were setting up the, like, Kid Avengers with, like, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Kamala Khan, like, just a bunch of, like, smaller characters. Like, we had, like, Wiccan.
Yeah.
Just like, it seemed like they were going to do that, but it's taken them so long to get to that point. That's what I wanted to see. So I guess my answer is like those characters that would fulfill those roles, but we're not at the point where they would
do that. Yeah,
do like the group dynamic, unless they built those teams in that movie,
which is a mess because then you're also building Doom.
Yeah,
I get you. You would rather, had they had more focus, you have an Avengers side, a Young Avengers, a Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and then it feels like they're all... Which is exactly what Infinity War was.
Yeah.
The Avengers were split apart, the Guardians...
Yep.
And then Thor.
Yeah, there was like other space crew, like Thor. I guess Thor did lose all of his, because he ended up meeting the Guardians. Mm-hmm. But like different dynamics, like Doctor Strange is in his own world and things.
Oh yeah.
Not literally his own world.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else, but I know this is like maybe fan service here or something. We've already brought back Robert Downey Jr. I would like to see the Hydra version of like Chris Evans, Captain America. I do think it would be interesting if we had like those two characters as evil versions, or maybe not evil versions of themselves, but were both very powerful characters, and to have them like these A-tier heroes go up against the B-tier ones that we now have, I just think it would be semi-interesting. But then I don't think we necessarily need to have Chris Evans back for another film.
At this point, though, I'm like, oh, fuck it.
Just do it.
You've added everybody else.
Yep.
If this is bad, or even if this is not like, if this is just okay, I think it will kill the MCU.
This is the first half of 2.
Yeah.
The second one's Secret Wars.
That's what blows my mind. I thought they were going to be like, this first one is a story. Like, it's going to be more kind of like Infinity War, where it was like focused on Thanos. And it'll be focused on Doom. And then the B story to that would be like Anthony Mackie and Brie Larson like collecting the Avengers or something along those lines. Collecting them.
I love that one. I love that one.
No Moon Knight. Bye.
He's not scheduled for anything else.
Flop Moon Knight over there. And I thought then Secret Wars would be this like massive crossover with you have all the cameos.
I feel like they'd maybe justify that, but it is weird where like it's funny that you're in your mind Infinity War is the one that's like the story, and Endgame's not, because in my mind it's the other way around, because Infinity War had all of the characters, and then we chopped them all out, and then we went, let's focus on the original 6 with another couple. But no, I mean, you're right in terms of the villain is like an actually fleshed out villain in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And then becomes the caricature in Endgame.
But they didn't have to flesh out the Avengers. That's the difference with that movie. It's like, you can have all these characters because you're just like, we're picking up all their stories. Are we going to fucking pick up Shang-Chi? Who we haven't seen.
He's in the cast.
Yeah. But like, how are they going to reintroduce him?
Yeah.
Remember that post-credit scene where you were like meant to go across the world and like find the rings or whatever? Did you do that? It's been a little while.
It's so annoying because that actually seemed like that was going to be like the thread or something.
Yes.
Like it seemed like it was going to be massive. Yeah.
Not a single Eternal has been announced. Thoughts?
Good.
Oh.
They had 2 post-credit scenes that have not been.
They have not. Yeah. Where's Harry Styles?
This is this whole universe.
I know it's fucked. It really is. The more you think about it, it's just...
How many versions of the Fantastic Four do you want to see?
I do.
I want to see all.
I do not want to see the fan force it.
I want to see where they ended up.
No. I do not need updates on them. Oh, their universe died. That
you
would
could
be
do that at the start of
that'd
Secret
be
Wars.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is like them all colliding and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw someone who had like a theory where they were like, what if this would... What if this was connected with like Loki season 2 in some way?
Well, it will be.
But then it's sort of sync, which is really odd.
That might have been the announcement that I was the most pissed off about, was him coming back.
Did they say Tom Hiddleston was coming back?
He has the most perfect... Like, I don't think there's many good arcs, like multiple film or TV show project arcs that the MCU has.
Yep.
I think Iron Man's one. I think Cap's one. I think Black Widow's another.
Sorry, those are all within films though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think I would like to see Wanda, but they fucking character assassinate her because they didn't watch the show.
We were talking about that yesterday as well.
And the only other person I think is Loki. His ending's phenomenal. Like, it is such a good cap for his character, and like, unless it's just we visit the end of time and Loki's there and Thor's like, brother, I need your help. Fuck, is Thor's daughter gonna be in this?
I saw someone being like, any bets this character never gets seen again.
My daughter, she's off on a different planet.
She's in one of the 9 realms. 7? 7
9?
realms?
The 9 realms. 7? 9. 9.
7-Eleven?
Let's name them.
She's in 7-Eleven.
She's drinking a Slurpee. Fucking Marvel-ass Marvel joke.
We could write Marvel.
Huh?
We could write Marvel.
We could. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a good start because, like, if you fail, there's already so many failures.
That's it. The bar is so low for their worst. All you have to do is better than Secret Invasion. Are we seeing Gaia? Do you think we're getting Gaia back?
Fuck no.
She's the strongest. She has all the powers of everybody.
It's actually like it's annoying me to talk about this now.
Yeah. I genuinely, if they pull this off, it might actually be like a feat of like cinema.
But would it be not really funny if they pulled it off? They pull everything together. They give them like a really good launch into the next saga. They have an amazing saga, and then we just have like this middle saga. It's just like this weird, fucked up version of like whatever they wanted.
What do you think the hit ratio is like for this saga? Genuinely,
like 50 at best.
Really, 50 good.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 50%. Like it genuinely is not like the joke of like you go in, like one's good, you come out, you're like, it's hype. Next one, the MCU's dead.
Yeah.
It might not even be as high as that. Like it could be like 40% good.
Maybe I have like recent, because I'm thinking Deadpool, Wolverine,
and Agatha,
and I think they're both actually good projects.
Yeah, but Agatha is like an actually good project. Yes. Deadpool, Wolverine was like an event project. Because I was thinking about like going back and rewatching that literally the other day, and I was like, I would still have a lot of fun with it, but it would be nowhere near like when we went to see it in the cinema, because like a lot of it is just like cameo, but they have that music and then Blade comes in and like Channing Tatum and stuff.
Yes. Did you see they announced Channing Tatum's chair with
the music?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Do you want to go through what they've released in this saga?
Not really.
Okay.
Maybe let's just move on from the Marvel news.
I'm depressed.
It's just sad now.
Yeah, fair. Interested to see how they announce the rest and where it goes from here, though.
Yeah. Well, I thought, was that not just like day one? Like they announced a bunch of names.
Yeah. Right, I have a question for you. I'm so sorry. Do you think that's an indication of then the people that are going to be there for a while? Because like, in my head, Brie Larson is the person I would point to. I would assume she'd be on set for quite a lot of it. But if her name's not there and she's seen on set because she's a main part of the movie, they lose the ability to announce that.
I honestly wonder if it's like who they have contracted plus who they can get hype from.
Like you think contract negotiations just still maybe happening with other...
Could be.
There was... I was listening to a podcast, they were talking about the Russo brothers, because they weren't a fan of what I'm about to say. They were saying that on the set of Doomsday, apparently, they've made trading cards of each of the actors and who they're playing so that they know which actors which. Because people are like, well, why not just learn your actor? Because they don't have faith that they are actually putting care into each of the characters then. If they're like, who we got here? What's your name, Dee?
Yeah, what?
Rumor. I don't know. Yeah. Marvel.
And DC is like yet to start again.
Well, it has started.
Sort of.
I was just thinking about that this morning. Creature Commandos. How weird.
Okay.
Where do we go from here?
I think we just keep with the shitters, I guess. Let's go with Snow White.
We'll move up the way of the course of the episode, shall we?
Is Snow White up from this?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so last night, when I left, I was going to go and watch something. Tried to watch... couldn't go and see Flow in the cinema, just to be clear, so we were like, we'll just like pirate it. Tried to pirate it. The quality was dog shit. Went, I'm not watching that. Snow White, we were like, we'll watch the old version. I was like, it's no good for me to talk about, I don't think, so we decided not to watch that. So we decided to, instead of seeing the new one in the cinema, pirate it. Oh my god. I mean, like, the quality was, like, fine, I guess. Like, the audio was a bit dodgy, and honestly, the picture was better than Flow. But, like, I just fell asleep.
Okay.
What an utterly boring film.
Yeah.
The acting is atrocious. The dwarfs, why CGI them? I was thinking about this when I was driving home last night after it. I thought, why do we have these, like, caricatured versions of these characters? Because obviously you would do it with animation, because why not? In real life, these characters aren't embodied by how they look. They're embodied by their, like, emotions and actions. They are grumpy, dopey, fucking sleepy, sneezy, angry, punch wall, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Like, none of that is given by, like, their facial features. So why do that? Why not just have actual actors play those roles instead of having CGI characters? You can see that I'm offended by this film. Fucking Gal Gadot. Oh my god.
Enough.
She's like, no. Like there's a point where she's, like, singing and she's, like, at her throne or whatever, and it's just, like, the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yes. I was like, this is like theater kid acting.
That is theater kids are better than that. Genuinely.
You have Rachel Zegler. There's a point where she's, like, her acting's, like, just, like, mouth open, like, mouth gosh. She's like, and then she's also, like, when the guy's stealing, she's like, well, the princess would, she would support you, like, blinking constantly. Not a single good performance in this film. Not a single.
How far did you get?
Oh, probably, like, halfway.
Okay. This is hilarious. By the way, I just to give a little bit more context, I saw this because this is what we were going to talk about this week, and I literally messaged Owen. I was like, find something else to watch. I'm not forcing you to watch this. I'm not going to put you through it. So let me know I did not force you to watch half of this movie. Will you finish it?
No.
Okay.
Which is kind of unlike me, I think.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I think the, like, actual design of the environments was, like, decent enough. Like the cottage and things. I like that we got to... I genuinely, I thought, because they were going a different route, we weren't going to see Snow White's fucking costume. But we actually did get to see it. And I was like, cool. Like, we've actually... Because we start the film and she's in, like, a different thing. She's in the castle.
Yeah.
She goes to pick apples. She's wearing the actual Snow White costume. I'm like, cool. The huntsman, I think, is, like, a 1-to-1 portrayal from the cartoon in the sense of, like, the acting.
Oh.
Like, in my head, that is exactly the same. We're just like, oh, you are so kind. Like,
oh, I see exactly what you mean. Yeah. Like, well, run before I change my mind.
And then you have this weird fucking zoom out thing. Becomes a horror movie for about 30 seconds.
When she is running through the haunted forest, I do not know why it was like 30 seconds of just like, camera, as she's like this.
And then suddenly, like, the deer comes out with, like, red eyes to start with.
Yeah.
And then the forest
the entire
lights
environment.
up.
Yeah.
That's not forest work.
She, like, falls.
I know it's fantasy.
I had the same issue. She falls into the water. She gets out. She's in this, like, the haunted forest. Sees the red eyes. And then it was the deer. And as the deer is walking towards her, the entire environment, it's just like the sun comes out. And actually it's really lovely. It's like a little, like, countryside. And then all of the animals come to her.
I'm sorry, there was a tiny CGI hedgehog, and that had me in a fucking chocolate.
Oh, at the start and at the end.
I was just like, oh my god, this. I don't know, something about hedgehogs are just so cute.
Hedgehogs are cute. If you're unaware of what Snow White is, it is yet another Disney remake. Based on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Not a Disney property, by the way. It's a Grimm's Brothers fairy tale. That's why we've had so many versions of Snow White. But this is the Disney adaptation of it.
Also, neither of us normally like pirate stuff. If we can avoid going to the cinema to see it, quite happy to.
No, absolutely.
Because
also,
it's a Disney remake.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Not because of the quality of the film, because it was a Disney remake. Yeah. Just to be clear.
No, totally. People got really up. Are you aware of all the drama surrounding this movie?
Well, it started with Rachel Ziegler talking about like how it's going to be a different kind of film and it's empowering and stuff, and people got really upset about that.
Well, it started with her casting.
Oh,
She's
well, that
like
sucks.
a woman of color, and people
Yeah.
are like, Snow White is meant to have fair skin. So there was already that, and then obviously she's on carpets. This is what I don't understand about people. Actors for these large movies are fed lines that they have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff she's meant to say is, we're going in a new direction. It's a bit more like feminist, that she has her own autonomy. If you've watched the 1937 movie, basically that movie was just a proof of concept that they could make a feature-length animated movie.
Yeah, it's the first like big one.
Yes, it is. Yeah, she has no character. Snow White has no character in that movie. You don't actually know who she is. It's the dwarfs who have character, and then she is saved by a prince. That's it.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Having watched the whole of the new one,
Yeah.
Is she a character?
So this is one of my issues with the
Yep.
movie. I guess we're just jumping about the place. My issue is that they feel so constrained to appeasing the original and following the beats that the original has, while also trying to modernize it, and they just contradict. Like, in the movie, it's not a prince. In this remake, it's not a prince. It's a bandit.
I fucking wondered if that's what they were doing.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
I was like, is this Prince whatever? It's not Charming.
No, it is.
Is it Prince Charming?
I think
Is that
so.
his
Yeah.
name? And I was like, is this the route we're going with this?
So
He's not allowed to be a royal. He needs to be a bandit.
no. They don't ever address that. He's a bandit in the movie. Like, he is a part of a team of bandits who, really interestingly, do you remember that photo that leaked? That was like all the different heights and genders, and people were like, oh, it's the dwarves. That apparently was a thing. Like, the dwarves were cast as people of different heights and genders and ethnicities. But the photo that leaked, unless I'm wrong, is the photo of the group of bandits.
Okay.
And so people got up in arms about the people thinking that the bandits were the dwarves. I feel like there's been tons of reshoots for this movie, because I'm like, well, the bandits are still in the movie. Were they ever the dwarves? Who knows?
I never kept up with any of the drama for this film. I just saw Rachel on the red carpet. That one clip that just kind of
That people just
kicked off.
Yeah. So in this, she falls for a bandit who is like down on his luck and like Robin Hood-esque, steals from the rich to give to the poor, and he's like, we're oppressed and whatever. Interesting concept on paper. And he actually has a song, I don't know if you got to it, where like they meet up again and he's like, it's called Princess Problems. And he's like, you wouldn't get it, you've got princess problems. It's an alright song. It doesn't work in the context of the movie. Snow White, if you don't know, I think this is new for this movie. She was made a slave, essentially, because her father, when their mother passes, her father remarries the evil queen, and then the father like goes off and like gets killed by the evil queen. Spoilers for
I actually
a
couldn't
century,
remember.
nearly.
I was like, what happens to this guy?
I'm sorry.
I mean, I
Who
don't
gives
care.
a shit?
But they might.
If you
Or 5 listeners. Let's go.
Yeah. So the evil queen then takes over the village and whatever, and makes Snow White a slave. She's a princess, but she's a slave to the queen. So you see her as a kid, this start of the movie, scrubbing floors, and it turns into Rachel Zegler. So she's grown up her entire life being a slave to a queen. And then this guy's like, you wouldn't get it. You've got princess problems, you rich, privileged person. And she's there like dancing in the forest like, I guess I do. I guess I like...
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
He sees her as that. Like, the first time they meet, she's like mopping the floors.
But it seems like he forgets that.
Yeah.
Because then he's like, yeah, princess, you wouldn't get it. Doll. Like...
Dull.
It's just completely contradictory. And I mean, like, it's bizarre to say that because the stuff that they give her in this movie is so surface level as well. Like, you can be brave. I can be brave. Okay.
Everything that
Like-
I saw before I fell asleep, I think was pretty much just the original film.
Yeah, the starts, like that whole like backstory of why she's a princess and all that, I think is...
I got to the
Yeah.
point where I think they were like cleaning the cottage.
That's the weird thing as well. Like, that's still there. Her like being domesticated and like cleaning up and what else does she do in this movie?
I also felt like the songs were really long and dragged out.
Yeah.
Like the
Hi ho, fuck me.
yeah, and the mine.
Yeah.
Like that is longer than
Yes.
the original.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like,
The original's hi ho, off to where we go.
yeah.
That's it.
No, there is a second verse in this film that I remember from the original.
But it's nowhere near like, and that's dopey, and this is the...
Yeah, no, I don't think it's. Like
And they have
fucking 5
magical
minutes long.
hands that...
Yeah, I don't remember that.
None of...
I was like, these are
it doesn't
these are
ever come
superpowered.
back.
The the dwarfs from Snow White will be in Avengers Doomsday.
Can't wait for their chairs.
Yeah, can't wait for the CGI to be a lot better.
It's like you alluded to it, but like it's so uncanny valley.
Yeah.
The first time you see them, you're like, whoa.
The most real one's Grumpy, I think. I could like see a proper
Yeah.
person in there. And then Dopey.
I like Dopey.
I mean, it's fine, but he looks very like Polar Express kid.
Yes, he's fully a cartoon.
Yeah,
Which I like feels out of place in the world that they're in.
yeah, it's so weird.
Dopey has an arc in this movie as well. An arc.
I saw a
It's
spoiler.
It's 2 scenes basically.
Yeah.
She's like, "Why won't you talk?" And he's like,
So that scene.
and she's like, "Okay, whistle." Oh, I can whistle. And then they go into the whistle song. And then at the very end of the movie, she's like, "Oh, we need to take down the evil queen." And he's like, "We should." I can't remember the line, but it's something as dumb as like, "Let's do it." And they're all like, oh my God, he spoke. And then he's like, "Yeah."
So I knew this was gonna happen because I think I was like on Instagram and one of the thumbnails was like when Dopey speaks for first time in Snow White. And
Fucking hell.
so like yeah, I knew that was coming at some point.
Also, you know it's coming because he narrates the fucking movie.
Is that him?
This is a story of... Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening.
Oh, and that was dreadful as well. Actually,
The opening?
all the exposition.
Yeah. I've not mentioned my favourite girl. Actually, I also want to mention where I watched this in, because it gives context for why I hated this so much. The only screening I could do, which turns out I didn't have to because my plans got changed at the end of the day, which pissed me off. I had to see this in IMAX, so I had to pay an uplift fee for this.
$5, right?
A $5. And it was midday, and there was not a single other soul in the cinema. I kid you not, it took me all of 10 minutes. That opening number that I was like, I've done something wrong with my life to end up here.
You were in like your personal hell.
Yeah, I truly,
Like a bad film alone.
my mind would drift and just be like, here's thoughts that are going on in my brain. Cinemas are meant to be like escapism. This was not escapism.
Actually, I think film was supposed to make you think, and it did that.
5 stars. 5 stars. I do want to shout out the worst performance I've seen in maybe a decade. Gal Gadot is fucking dreadful in this. Like, people bash on her, and I think they're retroactively going back and
Making it
worse.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, say what you will about that movie, I do not think it's deserving the like treatment it's getting now. I think it was quite revolutionary for the time.
I think I like her in those films as well.
So do I.
Yeah. Aside from
1984 is a bad movie.
Aside from but she still does like cunty version of Diana Prince in that film. Like
Kal-El, no.
okay, right, but that's Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but again, bad direction probably in that movie. I agree that she is good as Diana Prince. in my opinion, the internet will not agree with that.
Yeah.
In this, every time she's on screen, I would have loved it if I was with friends and we like got to laugh at it.
Yeah.
I just was like, what am I watching? Every single line is so poor.
Yeah, there's a point where she's like sitting in the chair. I think the huntsman comes in to speak to her, and she like turns around, and she like whatever the line delivery is. I'm like, a better actress would have done that, like quite contained, still looking at him in the mirror, like wouldn't have been like so bashed.
Or
is that the word for it?
Camp.
Yeah, like
it just never went into camp.
Like just have it be like
the writing's not good for her. Like, but then like lean into that. Like, who needs a rose when you can have a diamond?
Yeah.
Roses are so fragile. A diamond is strong. Like, oh, by the way, in case you thought, I love that animation. I really hope they bring back the same metaphor. She does it again at the end. She goes, see this, to all the townspeople, see this rose? So fragile. And then she takes out, instead of a diamond this time, a diamond dagger. Ooh, and she's like, ooh.
Plot twist.
This diamond is hard. And she gives it to Snow White. It's like, go on, kill me.
What a weird fucking... I did kind of assume that they were going to do the thing where like Snow White gets a sword or something.
Oh, but she doesn't kill her.
But she still gets the dagger, right?
Yeah, but then she doesn't do anything with it. Fuck, if Snow White like went jab, 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 I would have been all for it. Come on now. It's truly just an abysmal performance. And her songs are awful. I want to mention, actually, this will be really niche. And I think it's because I was consuming a lot of like Snow White reviews and stuff since I watched it. I was like, surely people are not enjoying this. I ended up on Evil Queen TikTok. Have you seen any of these?
No.
There is this woman at Disneyland, whatever, who is the most fabulous person I've ever seen. Like, she is so in character, she's so camp, and like, people go up to her and they're like, Queen, you're so beautiful. And she's like, I am. What's your excuse? Like,
does she play the evil queen? Just to be clear.
Yeah,
like,
she plays the evil queen.
What's her name?
I don't know. Oh, sorry. In the movie, Evil Queen.
Yeah, like because we have Maleficent, which is that Sleeping Beauty. But like, are they not like the same character?
And the writing is so poor in this. It's like there was something hidden inside her. Something evil. Are you kidding?
Did you just do the Jim Albert?
10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, wow, couldn't have thought of another word. It's truly
evil.
Yeah. That woman on Disney World, I highly encourage anybody to look up those TikToks. I will show you a few after this.
Yeah. Maybe leave a clip.
No, that wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. It's not my property.
You could at them at the... If it's just like somebody that's like gone around on TikTok.
Oh, maybe.
Just at the TikToker.
I mean, I watched like a 5-minute video of all her like reads of people at the Disneyland parks.
Brilliant.
Cast her, like lean into it. I just don't know. The one thing I'll disagree with you on, I liked Rachel Zegler in this. I do agree that she is not great. I think she's like Zoe Saldana in this.
Oh, the best performance in a bad
The best
film.
performance in a bad movie.
I still think like the stuff that I saw of her was not good.
I just think it's very impressive how she was actually able to bring life to acting with CGI. Like her like doe eyes? Yeah. Acting with animals and like the CGI dwarves, and I don't know, I felt a little bit, and I was a tiny bit invested in their romance despite it not making any sense.
I never really got to the romance because like he shows up, he's stealing, then she releases him from the gate, and that's all I saw of the both of them together.
So she leaves the Seven Dwarfs home to go find her dad, and then she finds the bandits, and then the bandits are like the Queen's Guard basically fight them, and she runs off, but instead of running away she comes back to the bandits and they fall in love.
I think what's a real shame is like she's been in like this in Shazam 2. And I think like Shazam 2 is one of those films where like her
Best part
performance
of
was
that movie.
better than like a lot of the people in that film.
Yeah.
I think she needs like people need to start casting her in like decent films.
But she's phenomenal in Hunger Games, and then also West Side Story.
Oh, okay, right. Not seen either of those two.
Yeah.
Fair.
Also, she's in Y2K,
which
apparently
did we have that in the? Is that out?
It was, but it got such limited screen. It was out in the cinemas this week.
I hate this country.
Yeah, but don't worry, Snow White is showing 30 times.
Great.
Yeah. I will also mention the costumes because you brought up. Hey, did somebody just like fucking rake through a bargain bin shop and stick them on the characters? They look horrendous.
They're very like costume, like you said. Yeah.
The evil queens.
I'm still happy to have seen the Snow White costume though.
Really?
Yeah.
It's bad.
The fact that they have it. I thought they were just going to try and change the film as much as possible and just not have that costume.
I think they should have. They should have changed it more.
No, I just like, would you rather just like not muted it.
No.
Just like had a real material.
Yeah, make it real. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I think the problems of this movie just arise because they didn't change it enough.
Mm.
I think it is always a hard sell as well when you have like somebody falls in love with somebody in an instant. Like, that happens in life, I guess. But like,
Do you think the best way of changing this film was to not make it a remake?
how do you mean by that?
Like, Snow White is a story, and they were committing to their version of Snow White instead of just like doing a Snow White.
They could have made Snow White.
Yeah.
And that wasn't Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Make the Grimm's to fairy tale. Be a little dark. I don't know.
That's what they're always a bit weird.
With Disney, yeah. Well, that's Snow White. Enough.
Yeah.
I said enough.
We've not even got to Severance yet.
Baby, we're gearing up. I'll jump into Flow. The Flow. I'm in the flow.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw Flow, which was the Oscar winner for animated feature. Crazy. Only came out now. I do not have much to say about this. It is a solid 70-80 minute animated movie that was made in Blender, if you have any experience with
I love Blender.
It's a free software, and the fact that something like this was made in something like it's a cool testament to the power of like anybody can do this.
Blender's come a long way since like
Yes.
years and years ago. It's capable of being used for this sort of thing now, which is very cool. Like the Lego stuff in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is in Blender.
Oh, really?
Because it's a kid that did it. It's like a teenager that did
That's
it.
mad.
Yeah.
Wow. This is it's gorgeous. It's got this like nice like watercolory feel to it. It is a very simple story. It's like dialogueless. It's got a score, but you're basically following a cat whose world they're in starts to get flooded. So all of a sudden, like one day, they notice like deers running past them. They're like, oh, what's that? And then there's just a massive wave, and then from there, the entire world, water is just rising and rising and rising. So they'll like find little buildings or stuff that they can go into, but like they're there for 2 minutes because suddenly water's coming through the floor and they're having to like escape again. And what you see in this world, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those like PlayStation games that were like the vibey ones. Do you know that were like gorgeous animation and like you play as an animal or like a weird
Stray is the one where you play as a cat.
Yes, but it's not what I'm thinking of. Like those like really arty.
Okay.
Can't name you any, which is great. There is
Before
a
Your
company
Eyes is like a good indie game. Like Outer Wilds maybe is kind of maybe.
No, it's not what I'm thinking of.
You're still trying to reach. You're talking indie games though.
Yeah, I'm talking like fully indie, and it's like animated and like. oh, whatever. It's not going to come to me. And you, as the story goes, you kind of see other animals who are trying to survive, and they end up like pioneering boats through this world, and it's just really fun. Like the animals are looking out for each other and stuff. That's the story. The world's flooding. Animals are trying to survive. And because there's like no dialogue and stuff, and you are just watching this cat fall in the water and then get back on the boat and stuff, it leaves space for your mind to like wander and think about what it's trying to say. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this and it is literally just about a cat on a boat and whatever. But I think a very surface level read of this is like climate change and the issues that we're doing with the world and whatever. I read this though as this like read on how we can sometimes be abandoned by groups of people that we see like ourselves in, and like we kind of like conform ourselves to fit in these groups when those groups want nothing to do with you. So like even if you like bend and contort yourself to fit in a group, you're never really fitting in that group. You actually have to find the people in life who like uplift you and love you for who you are. Crazy that I got this from like a fucking cat on a boat. But there's just like little bits. So like you get like this group of dogs near the start that are like really horrible to this cat, but there's one dog that's like really nice, and they like end up on like a little journey together, and the dog ends up like joining them, and then like other animals start to join the cat, who I got the impression that they were like outcasts from their own groups of animals. I think that is the point of this movie. I'm not spoiled where the ending goes and stuff, but like I think the ending is like love what you have in your life, like the people around you. Stop chasing other people that like you always think the grass is greener on the other side, like oh I desperately want to be a part of this group, or I want to be part of something else. But like if you look around you, actually there's people in your life that do love you, and like try and appreciate that. I don't know, I got like a lot out of it, weirdly. I finished it and I was like, it ends in a really nice like frame and like sentimental moment, and I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. There is some also like just wacky spiritual weird stuff that I'm like don't know what that means, but
it looked like a really pretty movie when
it's
I tried to
gorgeous,
pirate it in like 360p. I was like, this looks like it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'll go see this in the cinema, or
Yeah.
like catch it somewhere afterwards, because I don't want to watch it in bad quality when it's supposed to look really nice.
It really is. And I think like actually if you can catch this in the cinema, it's an ideal place to view it, because you're 70 minutes something, not that huge a time commitment. You get to go in a place where you're not on your phone, and you actually just let this wash over you, and you might get other stuff out of it that maybe like I didn't. Maybe if you've seen it and like you're hearing me talking, like what the fuck is he talking about? I don't know. That's what I got out of it. But I think it's cool to have a movie like that that's just like, there you go. It's a story. Feel what you want to feel.
Sweet.
Lovely movie.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, baby. Now, Severance.
You've got to do the like.
Best part of that finale, sorry, spoilers immediately, is when he goes down the elevator, he's got the gun tub, and he's like, whoa!
Yeah, I think it's just like such a moment. I think because it's subversive as well.
Yeah, you don't expect
you
it.
think he's going to get overpowered.
Yep.
But that's not what happens.
No. Poor Mr. Drummond.
Yeah.
Devour feculence.
Fuck him.
Truly.
Where do we start? Should we start from the start? Because this film is a film. It's an hour and 25.
Yeah, no, it feels like it's the flow.
It actually does build. Like it from the beginning, it is just an upward trajectory. Because
Talking about the finale.
The finale.
season. Right, okay.
I think the season's a weirdly structured season.
Yes, I agree.
I only really want to talk specifically about. No, that's not true. the finale is like completely upwards because you start with Miss Cobell
Mark
and his sister like in the cabin, and it is just like very talkative.
Yes, totally.
And then it starts to ramp up with all like the espionage.
It's weird though, because that is a ramp up of like, oh, Mark on Mark.
Even in
like,
that scene, it's a ramp up. Sorry, what was happening in the version you watched?
I think I watched a different version.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm just skipping through this now. That is actually 25 minutes of the episode is
wow,
in
that's
that
crazy.
cabin. It doesn't feel like that at all.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Such a good scene. Start higher level though. Season as a whole, what did you think of Severance season 2?
I really enjoyed it. I don't have much to say about it. I think like the first couple of episodes were what they were always going to be, which was like them in hallways. And then you get like some more interesting things happening. So you got like the episode 4 art boat episode, which I'm constantly joking about doing an art boat at work. And then you get episode 7, which was like the crazy flashbacky one. God, what were 8 and 9? Oh, you got
8's Cobell.
8's Cobell, which I think I've heard a lot of people like shot. I quite like the much slower version of that, and it was short.
Yeah.
So I think it worked. Like if you're going to make an episode really slow, make it short. Then 9 was literally just set up from what I can remember. Yeah. Episode 9.
It's also the end of Irving, I guess.
I think episode 9 you see Jamie Egan. Is it that episode where he says something and Haley goes, "Man, you're fucking weird."
Yeah.
And it's such a good line.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like my daughter. Okay,
yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I see Kieran you.
Interesting. I really like this season. I think when you do view it from like a bigger picture kind of view, it falters a little.
Okay.
Because I think they build up such great momentum going to like episode 6, where you have like Mark's reintegration stuff, Helly versus Helena.
And then you're just like,
and then it just stops, and it's like none of the stuff that came after was bad. It wasn't. I enjoyed every episode. Yeah. Episode 7, I actually think is my favorite of the season, even more than the finale.
Okay.
But you just stop the like momentum of each of the stories to then cater other people's stories, and I think that's a little bit of an issue. I was talking about this yesterday, where I think it's very same issues a lot of second seasons have with a lot of TV shows, where they go, we've set up all these amazing characters and like you're really invested in the world. What are we going to do? We're going to split them all up. Oh, but I really like the dynamic between all the characters. Oh well. Like, I think genuinely that is why people enjoy episode 4 so much as well.
Because they're all back together.
Because the 4 of them. And then
you can't just write those coattails forever.
No, you can't, because Irving leaves. Yeah. So like, it does change. But I think the pacing of the season is wonky with that stuff. Like, I personally think the most interesting story is the Helly Helena stuff this season. And that fully just stops until the finale. And I think maybe part of this comes from the reintegration storyline not having any weight to it really for the rest of the season. And it's such a big part of why you lose the momentum and then you don't really get a payoff. And I'm glad we don't, because I think it would have been too early to do that, because then you get the amazing scene in the finale where Mark and Mark are talking to each other. Had they just been reintegrated, you lose all that nuance. But it does feel weird that the bulk of his story is like, you're going to get reintegrated, and we just like pussyfoot around it for a few episodes.
Yeah, it's a bit... it's almost like a red herring, because the whole point of the reintegration we thought was that they were, I guess, going to kind of like connect the two Marks. But actually what happens is you get to a point where it seems like he's like in trouble health-wise because of it. And that's how you manage to bring Miss Cobell back. And then we can get Gemma. Yeah. So actually it's all just kind of like subverting what you thought was going to happen. And actually providing like this interesting conversation, like you said at the end of the season, because he goes like, I'm reintegrating. He's like, what the fuck? Don't do that. I'm gonna lose me.
And he's also like, but can I trust you?
Yeah.
That scene, you do get such a payoff to something that I think you weren't expecting, because you do expect them just to be reintegrated.
Yeah, because they kind of feel like they're working together anyway, and then you get to the point where like they actually get to have a conversation. They're like, I don't want to play by your rules. Yeah.
Which is funny as well, because they clearly in that final episode are like, one of these guys is good and the other's bad. We're telling you how to feel about them. Blue light and orange light. I do love the way the finale was shot, though.
Yeah.
The entire season, should we say? I'm looping you into this opinion.
I don't think this show's ever been not shot well.
Episode 7 particularly, though, being directed by the cinematographer Jessica Lee Lang, I think her name is.
Good question.
It's her directorial debut. It's mental, like how cohesive and beautiful that episode is.
I walked away from that episode being like, I really like that, but I never had the same reaction as everyone else did.
I felt like that with episode 4.
Yeah, I know.
The next part, do you want to just keep chugging along the finale?
The funny part about this for me is I think there's a clear, your episode 7 is your favourite episode of this season and maybe the show.
Yeah, I'd have episode 7 and both the finales up there. The first finale's really tight.
Yeah, I prefer the first finale to this finale.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like the first finale is still my favourite episode of the show.
Yeah.
And for me, it was such an obvious favourite for that season. I don't have an obvious favourite for the season. I like 4, 7, and 10, and they're all so different from each other.
Sure.
Yeah, in terms of this episode though, just a lot going on. I'm surprised it's as long as it is, because at the end of the day, it's just like get Gemma.
Yeah.
But like it never feels long, but there's like a lot going on.
You have to have Mr. Milchick's bloody speech with Kieran. Your statue is 5 inches taller than you were in real life.
I love how he's just like pushing back against the company constantly. I want to see him like turn.
I see when he like jumps on the vending machine at the end, like I'm like, oh, he's gonna go off.
You know when he jumped and kicked the back of the vending machine?
Yes.
Daniel went, oh, that was cool. I thought it was laughable that he's climbing over the top of the vending machine and they're shoving trumpets in his face, that that's going to stop anything. Like, it knocks him back the first time, but then placing them there, that's not stopping anyone. They're just trumpets placed on top of the vending machine.
It's like it stops them from pushing the vending machine. Like
the trumpets on top of the vending machine.
Well, yeah, because it's then like lodged in, so it's like stuck.
I don't think they were lodged in. Like I don't think that's doing enough.
They've got big old holes in the end, like.
But like whatever way you'd have to like tuck it under and then push it in, and then he'd be able to just reverse whatever they do.
I was confused as why he didn't just like boop, 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 the trumpets, but
yeah,
Mr. Milchick clearly not got a clue up here what's going on.
Even though he uses big words.
Fuck you, Mr. Milchick.
I'm going to talk about little tiny things that I've seen since. So like the keyboards. I don't know if you noticed anything about the keyboards.
So I stayed away from like Severance talking all this because I just was enjoying.
This is just like a show-wide thing.
Okay.
They don't have an escape key.
That's crazy.
Yeah, brilliant, really.
Wow, that's fun.
Also, Cold Harbor.
The crib.
Yeah, it's the name of the crib.
I did see this,
which is crazy.
Yeah, the actress for Gemma was like, how people notice that.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
It is when I see stuff like that. I'm like, how did you notice that? Are you like just sitting there going like?
There's people like that, but also like the amount of people that watch the show, like someone's gonna notice something.
That's true.
It's just maths.
Nice. do you ever read on the finale?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Like the purpose of Cold Harbor, I guess.
Well, it's funny because I think we thought it was going to be like Rebirth.
Yeah.
which it doesn't seem to be the case. It just seems to be like it was a strengthening of the inhibition. What's the word? Inhibitor part of it, of like trying to completely sever two versions of someone within their own brain. I've seen people talk about it and how like what they were focusing on was like trapping out kind of like her fear and things. But at the end of the day, when Mark came into that room, like love was able to transcend the like actual inhibitor. So like that was the emotion that managed to break through, because she was still able to trust him, even though like that version had never met him before. I actually found the end of the season really frustrating. Like, granted, I watched season 1 really recently, so like I never had to wait like the 3 years that you did. Unlucky. But like I thought this end of season 1 was like, oh my god, like hype. This season I was just really annoyed, and like I understood like it was in Mark's character to like that version, Mark S, to go back and spend like the last 10 minutes with Heliar, because it might be the last 10 minutes that they get. But I'm sitting there like, what? They could do stuff to you. They're gonna get a hold of you. Like, don't do this.
I think it's a beautiful ending.
Them just running.
Hey, like there's danger, but like there's love. So like, why would you not want to spend 10 more minutes with the person that you love? Like, I don't know, it's quite sweet.
Just felt blue-balled.
Well, I was talking. I quite like the read of the finale. I read it as what Mark's going through is Cold Harbor. So like, it's not what they intended for Cold Harbor to be, but thematically what Mark goes through is Cold Harbor. So at the very end, when he chooses Heli, it is proof that he is going through like the most traumatic thing. Mark lost his wife and has found out she's alive and then could be with her. And instead of picking that, there's like the chip's working because he feels more for, like, he doesn't feel anything for her. He feels for Heli. And that in itself is Cold Harbor.
So when I was speaking to Daniel about this, it still came back to that conversation of like love transcends, like that splitting up, and then that essentially he was saying that like obviously he loves Heliar that much that he chose Heliar.
Yeah.
But my question then becomes like, does that mean he loves Heliar more than the other Mark loves Gemma?
No, I just think that then they're completely separated.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's that.
That's fair. I mean, I think that was the point of... There was a point earlier in the season where you kind of... or no, season 1. Where you realise, like, his version of the chip is, like, the best one that we've seen. Because they're sitting with... Retroactively, you realise they're sitting with, like, the candle and stuff. Him and Gemma. Talking about whatever. They've lit the candle and it's like... He is in an environment where he should be breaking down, but he's completely fine.
But he makes the tree.
Makes what tree?
When she's, you talk about the like therapist meeting where she's like, here's clay, make something. He builds the tree that she crashed into.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's also like it isn't fully working because he saw her and associated the tree with her.
So his doesn't fully work then.
Yeah, but then I'm wondering if the tests that they're doing do something to the chip. I don't know. To me, what I find interesting about the show is that I don't actually care about... I do. But I don't like...
I was about to be like, what do you mean?
I don't care about the world and the semantics and all that. I find this show far more interesting thematically. I even found like Dylan's storyline super interesting this season on like... Who does his wife like love? Like, is she loving a past version of himself? And like, she's like getting to see him again and like, that's why she's drawn... like so close to him, or like the whole conversation he has with his outie I thought was brilliant, being like, oh, fuck you, but actually, do you know what, like,
it also shows that their character is still the same, because like that's a very Dylan thing, any Dylan to say like fuck you.
Yeah, when
so
he says it.
Yeah.
I find that wildly fascinating. Like, can you compartmentalize like love? I find that the show's about love, in my opinion. It's about capitalism and work-life balance and all this shit, but I think really, when it boils down to it, the stuff that it's saying that's most interesting is about love.
Actually, I'm very interested to like see the dynamics of the actual work life stuff and all that, and the politics of it.
Yes, no,
and
it's
see
so
where that
interesting.
goes.
Yeah.
Like
the ethical side of things, like wasn't it Devon being like, oh, like, come on, just like do this, like Mark's like, please, like, to the any Mark, but like you're still then telling somebody that their life is less meaningful than the person on the outside, which is interesting coming from her specifically as well, because in the first season they're like, we didn't want Mark to do this, we're so against Severance and blah blah blah. They, like, those poor innie people, like innies.
yeah, but then when it comes down to
when it comes down to her brother,
make a decision.
yeah.
I have a slight issue with like the logistics of the Severance shown in the finale, because the way that they explain it is that like they're severed on their floor, so like Gemma's severed in like different places, so that every room she walks into, she becomes that person.
Yeah.
Mark, when he gets down to the bottom floor, becomes Mark, because he's not severed on that floor. He walks into Gemma's room. He's not severed in that room, so he's still Mark. The only time he's ever any Mark is when he's on that floor.
Yep.
Except for the cabin. He's just suddenly any Mark in the cabin. And like that's never, like, the rules that they set out are like, you are severed in this space unless you turn a dial to produce the overtime protocol or whatever.
But they are Lumen owned buildings.
But they've set it up so that they're only severed in a certain space.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just was under the assumption that, like, because they're pregnancy cabins, the people who want to do those pregnancies, the people who are pregnant, go to those cabins and they get the chips that like the MDR people have, those version of those chips. So then it just works because it's the MDR chips.
I think they're like playing loose with the rules there, in my opinion.
It's also Miss Cobell though. So like,
so you think she was able to...
She made this stuff.
She opened a panel in the cabin and it was just like, these settings.
Yeah. Have you finished Cold Harbor?
She's fucking weird, dude.
I love her. When she like goes absolutely feral, it's brilliant.
I want to talk about the fact that I didn't quite clock until I watched like the behind the scenes at the end of that episode.
Such a good behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was. They talked about, because you really got to see like Adam Scott talk about the character and stuff. Essentially 4 sets of Mark and Gemma.
That's
which
it's
I just never
such an
quite
interesting
clocked.
Dynamic. Yeah.
Which is really interesting to see.
In the space of 5 minutes.
And she still trusts as
Miss Casey.
Miss Casey like still trusts him as well.
What does she say? She's so like, funny.
Hi Mark, what are we doing here? Like, it's just. And then he's like, we need to go. Grabs her by the hand, and she doesn't like.
She
stop.
runs like Miss Casey as well. She's like, huh? So good. Oi, out the door! Brutal though, because Gemma doesn't know Mark's been severed.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Really, because then it makes the ending because he chooses another woman.
I would have assumed that she knew or assumed for some reason. I mean, she'll get to afterwards.
I'm assuming it's not going to take her that long. I think she's smart. She'll understand. But like,
there are people that thought this was like the end of the show.
Yes, I spoke to somebody yesterday.
And I was like, and would have been happy with it being the end of the show too.
Yeah.
And I like kicked off. I was like, no, because they've set. It would be like Game of Thrones where they set up a bunch of stuff like in season 2 and just didn't pay it off.
Yeah.
The Irving stuff is so incomplete.
That's
so incomplete. There's so much there. There's still to like relationship with Bert. Why like there's definitely stuff in the past, like maybe other innies versions of themselves. Like why does Irving know about the dark hallway? Who was he on the phone to? The goo, which I'm assuming is he has like an older version of the chip.
Yes.
And it was like the paint that he was using was kind of like leaking through in his brain. The map with all the names on it, including Bert. Like, there's just so much to his character that we have not explored yet.
That's why we went to like the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
I think he was sidelined, and then because they do so many like bottle episodes, you never like we don't we get such a pause on him, and then the end of this is like, and he's off. So it's like, come on, you're so interesting.
But if we hadn't got rid of him, we would never get the like, do it, Seth.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. Everybody is phenomenal, like acting wise in this. I genuinely think though, Britt Lauer, who plays Helly, is like, she should win awards for this season. I think she's.
I want to see more of the outie Helly.
Same.
I'm like
same.
Her
whole like demeanor is different. It's really fascinating.
I'm so interested. Like I feel like in my mind, outie Helly isn't as much of a villain as she's supposed to be.
I agree.
And I'm like, we're waiting for that ball to drop because she seems to like not have a connection to anyone, and that's why she really wanted that with Mark or something.
Yeah, when she's sitting watching the two of them fall in love, it feels like she hasn't experienced that. Like,
and James is like she used to have Kira in her, but she lost it, which makes me think like, oh, she has like empathy.
Yes, yeah.
So like, it would be interesting to see if like somehow she actually isn't as bad as what we think she is on the outside, and
she's more similar to Helly than we.
Yeah, think, and maybe in some way she might be the way that we get to a point where there isn't like innies and stuff. It could be them persuading outie Helly to recognise that. I'm
fascinated how they wrap up this show though, because there is such a sprawling amount of like questions and ideas that you can play with. Like, how do you finish it? That's why I kind of think, I know the ending leaves so much open, and it isn't a good ending for the show. It is a good ending, I think, for Mark and Helly as characters.
I think it's a good ending for this season, because the point of this season was like, get Gemma back.
Yeah.
And they did that. Literally, that's how the season ends.
Yeah. I don't want to spot. If you've not seen a comparison of that ending to a movie, I won't spoil it. It's a very famous ending in cinema.
Did they talk about that in the behind the scenes, or maybe I saw something on TikTok?
Maybe on TikTok.
I don't know what film this is.
Okay, it's such a good read of the ending of this movie.
Maybe give me like 10 films to watch and just have it be
one of
them.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Snow White. Enough. You Jim Halpert. Halpert?
Jim Halpert.
You Halpert.
Let me Rachel Ziegler like defend Princess.
Where do you want to see the season go? The next season.
One.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck it goes.
Yeah.
Like, how do we start? Do we start
exactly.
with Gemma running up the stairs, and then like Miss Cobell and his sister or like Devon are like in the car just like waiting on her, and she's like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
where's Mark?
Like, I genuinely don't know what they're going to do, because they can't. The best thing about the nature of the show is that the innies can't get hurt too much.
Yeah.
Because the outies like are real people. Saying that, they actually
subvert. The outies are real people?
To the rest of the world.
Wow, okay. Not an any rights person over here.
Saying that, they subvert our expectations again, because Mr. Drummond was just going to kill Mark. And was obviously high up enough in the company that he was just like, I'll write this off. Like, I'll figure this out.
Sorry. Also brought that back. The goat thing.
The cute goat.
My God. Do you know what? I actually don't think they're going to address it. And it is more just to be like, in the severed floor, Gwendolyn Christie, like, that is her family. Like, there is a relationship there. And to her, that's like meaningful. I think that will be the extent of it. I don't think the goats have some like grand purpose.
No, I think that's it done now.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy with.
Same.
I'm glad they brought her back, because like,
same.
Why have her for the one episode? Yes. Like, I do think the way that they dealt with that character was quite good.
It makes sense. I was like, why Gwendolyn Christie in particular? Oh, this is why.
Yeah, it's the Hound versus what was her character called?
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, we just did that again.
Yeah. Is he the Hound? No, sorry. Is he the Mountain?
No,
he just gives.
No, the Mountain was fucking massive.
Yeah, the Mountain was massive.
The Mountain was like a wrestler.
Yeah.
They cast him like 3 different times, and
this man was massive as well.
This guy was big, but like he wasn't the Mountain.
He wasn't Mountain big.
This guy was more like The hill.
A valley.
A valley?
No, not a valley.
What?
Geography's failing me. What's a small hill called?
A mound?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
A valley. This
no.
man is more of a canyon.
Okay. Cool.
What else have we got here?
I want to see more of Helly's story.
Okay.
Which I think we'll get.
Yeah, me too.
And Irv.
Yeah, for me it's Irv. Because Helly is like the more interesting like character to delve into, I think. Maybe. But Irv is like the questions that they set up.
Yeah.
And I'm getting annoyed that I'm not seeing them answered. At least slowly.
Do you think do you think we're gonna stay in Lumen? Or like
I don't know.
Like can we how do we
stay in the hallways?
Yeah.
I genuinely have no idea what they're going to do.
But then see, I say this and then I'm like, oh, they've left themselves like how are we gonna see the innies if they're not on the 7th floor? Season 1 was the same sort of thing. It was like something happened. You can't go back to the floor, and we do go back to the floor.
What if we just don't see innies for like a couple episodes?
I would actually kind of get a little mad at that.
Yeah.
I actually find all the outies relatively interesting, bar Mark.
Well, he's just kind of like sad all the time.
I think because also this season was like grating, and it is just the reintegration thing.
You find that grating?
No, just like it is the same plot points. And it was that like every episode. I'm like, what? I'm more interested in the innie Mark, I guess.
What if? I'd be interested if they still keep him and Gemma apart. Just abduct Mark.
Oh, and it's Samuel said this. The next season's just gonna be Gemma trying to get Mark out.
Yeah. Role reversal.
Crazy. She has a fucking interesting chip inside her as well. Ooh, what if Miss Cobell?
What does that mean?
Well, she has like
the best one,
the good chip. Yeah.
So I thought there was like features that I wasn't aware of.
She's
got fast charging.
What if Miss Cobell wanted Gemma out to get the chip?
Oh my god. Yeah, but she's also against Lumen, so that would only be for like her self-interest.
End of season 1, she's not. She like ends up becoming like a little Lumen pawn again. It's only episode 8 where like you learn that she like created it. That you're like, oh, okay, she's pissed off at the company. She's gave so much to it. But I don't know if they actually
she never
gave her.
Them.
Yeah. But I wonder if if they just like schmooze her, she'd be like roll over, you know.
Devon's husband disappears too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when is the last time we see him?
I don't know, but I'm so interested to see what they're going to do with him.
He is something as well.
Yeah. I mean, people think Devon's something as well.
Yes. The last we saw him was with Natalie, where he was going to write a book for the innies.
So we're getting that book.
I don't know. They have so much to do, and I feel like they've actually ripped themselves into a corner. I trust that they're going to get out.
We'll see.
Do you think they have a plan?
I think there's at least like a loose plan somewhere.
Yeah.
I think writing scripts will be the hard part.
Yeah. I wonder if the plan is end of season beats. So they got to the point they need this season. The next season they'll have another point.
That's interesting.
I don't want the show to go on for too long though.
I think about 4 seasons will cover what we need, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us Marvel writers over here.
No, we're better than that.
Severance writers, yeah.
I don't know if we're as good as that.
Theme tune is so bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
I kind of liked as well the opening. I read it as like there was 10 episodes. Like you were actually seeing the journey of each episode. There was like a hint.
The opening?
Yeah. The more the season went on, I was like, oh, this is what they're doing.
I guess we could try and break that down, see what's in there. The artist that does that is very cool, I think. Yeah.
That was Severance. Doobie doo doo doo.
I guess we did the question.
That's the question.
I'm really hoping the question relates to Severance or something. Like, it'd be funny if it was Snow White. It might just be a general question. I have no idea what this
How
is.
did you find the end of Snow White?
Okay. What do you feel that this... I don't think this is correct English.
What do you feel? Right now.
Oh no, it's just that I can't read.
Okay.
What do you feel?
Okay.
Nothing.
Oh.
What do you feel have been the biggest challenges in cinema film in the last 5, 10, 20 years, and what changes do you foresee in the future? For example, impact of CGI, rise of superhero multiverse films, and why you think these have become a trend. What role will AI play?
Oh my god, that's such a loaded
very big
question.
question.
Also, the timescales there
We're very different.
are very different.
The biggest changes in cinema, in the last 5 years have been like streaming.
Yeah. Well, yes, I would say. Yeah.
Because I'm saying because of COVID specifically.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because like there was already like streaming Netflix films and things.
Yeah.
But now you get the weird thing of like, straight to streaming ones that like could have been in the cinema. I feel like.
Yes.
Or like ones that are released in the cinema and streaming at the same time, or the Disney way of doing things where it's like film and then streaming quite quickly after. So
Mickey 17. Did you hear about this?
No.
It like got released on VOD or something like 14, 15 days after it was released in the cinema.
wild.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like Disney's fast, but that's mad. Like, totally agree.
Yep.
Streaming is the biggest change in the landscape.
10 years, the superhero films got shit.
Yeah, there was an oversaturation.
Yeah, 2015 to... Because we thought... I mean, people were getting superhero fatigue in like 2015, but now it's 2025 and we've had so much.
Yeah, well, so 2015 you're talking...
Actually, sorry. Between 2015 and now is the... Just before 2015, a couple of years, Disney bought Star Wars. So... Between then and now, we've had just within Marvel and Star Wars, just pumping out content constantly.
I think that's the thing that you could broad
stroke for the last 10 years, maybe.
It's just like films and like TV shows becoming content.
Yeah.
Becoming more of a shareholder, like money.
The contentization. Oh, shared universes, because Marvel did it first. They did it first, like, successfully.
Yes.
And everyone was like trying to catch up since then.
Yeah, spin-off TV show for fucking everything. Yeah.
Because spin-off TV shows always existed, but like normally you'd have like a banger TV show and sometimes a banger spin-off, and there was just one.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, I mean, we were invested in like the Arrowverse, where there was like a million.
Do not shame us like that.
spin-off shows. Yeah. So.
Absolutely, it's that. And then prior to that, I'd literally just say the landscape of cinema being more like blockbuster orientated.
I was going to say CGI.
Yeah, but that like films becoming like spectacle-y, like because you could even loop in Avatar and stuff in that.
That's 2009, so that's in the last 20.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. That's mad.
Yeah.
What was the other parts of that question?
Okay, so I think we've covered like the timeline ones.
Yeah.
Changes we will foresee for the future. So the impact of CGI, which I think, honestly, the impact of CGI is what we've got to now, which is like the horrendous kind of like uncanny valley laziness of CGI because like it's like the computing power is there, but like the actual like artistic integrity of it is just gone.
Yeah.
The rise of superhero multiverse films. I do think there's going to be a downfall of this sometime in the next 10 years.
It depends if we're being hopeful or not. See, I really enjoyed, I did a video essay about like Marvel killing cinema and like learning about, you know, Steven Spielberg's blockbusters in the 70s and stuff, and the like cyclical nature of cinema that's even in the short history cinema's had, how cyclical it has been, is so fascinating to me, because what's happening now with like remakes and stuff, Snow White's doing super poor at the box office. I don't know whether or not that's like a strong indication of the direction of cinema, because Mufasa actually did well. So it's not as if blanket statement all of these remakes and all these CGI slops doing bad. It's some are doing good, some are doing bad. But I would like it to swing back in the way of, instead of producing $200 million movie, we make 10, $20 million movies, and stuff becomes more focused on like real stories that are like less CGI focused, more like auteur driven, whatever the fuck that means. Like, I don't like auteur theory. Like,
I was thinking more like $450 million films.
well, there you go. Yeah, something like that. Like new franchises or like original IP. But I think that's being too optimistic. The people that are in charge at the moment are greedy fucking capitalists, and I don't think there's any like sort of indication that this is going to slow down.
I just think at some point like these superhero films have to properly crash because they kind of like already have, but like they still get made.
But, right, I might push back a little on this because DC
is starting,
and they've also
Don't know if that
announced their
means much.
release schedule, which I think it's 2 live action movies a year, 1 animated movie a year, and 2 shows.
Their release schedule for their last set of films was not stuck to in the slightest.
I do think this will have more of a like
As long as it
regimented-
goes well.
Well, yeah. If Superman flops, it's dead on arrival. That
I think multiverse films are we at the back end of that now?
That's where I think that'll cut out. Secret Wars will stop that. Do you know what I think a large part of that is? Because you can agree or not with this, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think coming out so early into that trend and being better than anything else has kind of like dampened everything. Like, if it's a part of a franchise, it's fan servicey. It's not story. It's not in line with a story.
I disagree. I think those are 2 separate things. Like I think Everything Everywhere All at Once was like very good, but like it doesn't make the other ones worse. I think they're just bad.
Oh, fair. But like, oh, okay. You don't think that has an impact on people wanting to tell multiversal stories going forward because that was good?
No, I think that made them. Yeah, I think that made them want
to do it. But you think because nobody's been able to replicate it as well as that, they're like, it's not worth it.
Again, there's like greedy people at the top.
Yeah.
It might just be the case that they're like, oh, these multiverse movies just don't work. The audiences just don't like them.
Yeah.
Like just not getting the correct thing.
Like Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, sure.
Made like 1 point whatever billion. Like people do, the ordinary person likes a cameo and like I think if you're talking about Marvel specifically, actually loop in DC with this as well. I don't think DC should fucking touch bringing back legacy actor. Do your own thing. And then I also think once Marvel's past Secret Wars, don't make an X-Men movie and then also have like one of the X-Men from the old Fox universe come back still. Like, it has to be separated.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, maybe, in my opinion, multiverse works better when it is self-contained. So, like, big Doctor Who fan, they did like the parallel world story in season 2. It works because like all of the setup was within like those 2 episodes. Like, it's a parallel world where all the actors are the same. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once, like they set up a multiverse.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a self-contained multiverse. Like, it's not you trying to tie things between like something that existed like 20 years ago. Because I genuinely very much do like parallel world stories, but I think they're interesting when they're like quite close, when it's like the decisions people have made and like what makes them a different person and things, as opposed to like, we got a cameo for you.
That'd be so fascinating if they did a Marvel multiverse movie that was just a character that we've seen slightly changed.
Well, it's like they kind of the only time they've tried to do any of that is like Multiverse of Madness.
Which, yeah, I know, yeah.
Which is not good. I do love the memes that are like, Stephen Strange in every universe, just Benedict Cumberbatch. Peter Parker in every universe, just like different people. It's like completely different people.
The genetic makeup is just wild. So funny. Wait, Rise of CGI was the first thing as well.
Impact of CGI.
Do you think that it's going to reach a point where it's like these look bad and they course correct? Because they haven't course corrected and CGI has gotten worse.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like a lot of schlop, and then like the biggest studios are going to have, and the people that care are going to have good control of it. So like James Cameron, I think the Avatar films are always going to look good. because he really cares, and like ILM are like really really in there. Like I think that's a lot of their work, which was the same case for like Endgame and stuff. So if they choose to care, Doomsday could look very good.
But right, it's May next year. I don't know how that's gonna.
I don't know how that's possible, but I remember watching a video about Marvel years and years ago.
Yeah.
They do a lot of previs for stuff.
Fair. Okay.
So they have like a lot of fight scenes. They're aware what they're going to look like years in advance.
Right.
So like, you might be able to.
Maybe.
But then again, you got Black Panther at the end of that. So, and other Marvel movies, but it's like that fight sticks in my mind.
I want to point out, I think CGI is also a blanket term that people use to be like a movie looks bad because CGI. CGI is still like an art form, and there is artistry in it when it looks good, and there's been a level of like craftsmanship in it.
Which was often like the 2000s, like Davy Jones.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot like when you were trying to figure things out, then you kind of had to be like that. You had to really care about it, and now that you're not having to figure things out, it's like just make the characters and like see what it does.
I mean, I would say though, Infinity War and stuff though, I think that's the best CGI movie ever looked. Is his character model?
Well, Thanos.
Yeah. No,
I disagree. Yeah.
It's for the length of time he is on screen.
Yeah. I think Davy Jones looks better.
Really? Interesting.
Just top of mind. There probably is like other characters that we could name, but
the Na'vi, Jake Sully.
Yeah, fair. Like I do. Maybe not the Na'vi compared to Thanos though. Like because you can really see Josh Brolin's face in Thanos, which I think is impressive, and it doesn't look goofy and stuff.
Yeah.
And you compare that to like MODOK.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really do have this hope that audiences are going to want to go out for like, say like just they'd rather see a black bag than an electric stage, you know? Like
I actually don't think that's going to happen.
I know,
because trying to advertise that I think is so much more difficult to people. They market it, and also I do think people are just getting stupider. Yeah. In general,
I think anti-intellectualism is very
it's very in right now.
It's
so
helping the shit that we're getting.
Yeah.
Because genuinely, see, when I went, I'll speak about this maybe in a few weeks, but I went to an independent cinema and saw a movie this week. The lineup in that cinema, I was like, oh, this is fascinating. International films that like are not getting wide releases at all. There was like hardly any crossover with what's been in the like megaplex, what are they called? Cineplexes? Multiplexes. Which is fascinating to me because I feel like we've both been like, oh, it's kind of been rough. Bar the like Oscar stuff that we got, which we get late. Has anything like really came out this year that's been a big, everybody together, good like movie?
Bridget Jones 4.
True.
I'm gonna every podcast I'm gonna bring up Bridget Jones 4.
I spoke about that last night.
We spoke about that last night. Did you speak to more people about it? I spoke to
more people about that last night.
We've not finished this question.
No, yeah, sorry. What the?
Why do we think it's become a trend of superhero multiverse stuff?
It made money.
Yeah. What role will AI play? I'm worried AI is going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah. I could do a whole podcast episode about this. I think we could because there's a crossover.
The AI one, I think, like versus like CGI is like there's a lot of like ethical stuff that is important when you're talking about AI. Which is why like it could get better after it was to get worse or whatever. But I do worry that it's just gonna get used more and more and more until that becomes like this point where people are like, what the fuck? We need jobs.
I'm scared that if there's not... What makes art is the humanity behind it. Without that, it's not meaningful, in my opinion. Like,
agreed.
I don't want to see a streaming service that is just AI content that's been generated. That's not that far away from being like possible. I'd like to hope that like that's a sentiment that other people hold. Like you're watching art for somebody's vision behind it, but like
anti-intellectualism.
Yeah, if I can see fucking Superman and Iron Man fuck each other on the screen, like,
is that what they want? Or is that what you want?
Thanks for joining me.
What a great way to end the podcast.
Oh, is that the end of that question?
I mean, that is the end of the question, yeah.
What are we... Should I just end?
I don't know, do you have anything more to say about all that? Like,
I just hope there is, like, laws and stuff put in place for AI. AI's... The world has been bad at putting in legislation for tech, period.
It always comes like after the fact.
It's always after. And because we are in this rapidly evolving time, I mean, we've seen it with so many bits of tech that we own, laws just can't catch up. AI is moving at a lightning speed, like faster than... I'm blanking on the company.
It's faster than light, baby.
There's a company, an AI company that's like was the first company to reach $100 million valuation of any company ever. It was the fastest growing. So I'm like, it's here. People are using it. I don't know where you draw lines, what it can be used for, what it shouldn't be used for. Like, there needs to be intellectual conversation, and I mean conversation and debate, not right and left screaming at each other over these things. Like, there needs to be a talk about like where the AI is heading and stuff. Like ChatGPT, is it 4.0, the image generator that's just came out?
Yeah.
Why is that needed? Like, there was a time, I mean, not too long ago, where you could tell if an image was AI. That I don't know if you've seen the results
I saw
that this
one.
can produce.
It was like it was like a photo of 4 people like on a college campus. It was like a grainy photo.
Yes.
And it looked real.
Yep. But like, there's a level of like, why? Why did you feel the need to make
no
a technology?
positives.
What's that going to be used for? It's only going to be used for bad things. It actually scares me a lot when I think about
I know.
AI.
So this is a really happy ending to the podcast.
Yeah, Iron Man, Superman, fucking ha 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 ha.
I thought it'd be really funny if you said someone else there by accident. Just like a different scenario. Batman, Superman, fuck.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening. It's a long one. I didn't think it was going to be long.
I knew it was going to be a long
one. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Follow us on Spotify and
YouTube
and
Apple Music
and
Instagram
and
TikTok.
Nice. I was feeling like yes and thing.
Yeah. I was like, am I going to get them all?
You did it. Yeah. I'm proud.
Thanks.
Next week we shall be talking about Death for Unicorn.
Cool.
I think we're both quite excited for that. If I'm not mistaken, I remember you going like, "Oh, I'm excited."
Yeah. I mean, I think it's not had like the best reviews or whatever. But...
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we've got Minecraft to save the episode.
We've got Minecraft. Okay, Minecraft's the big one. Sorry.
Yeah, Minecraft absolutely is the big one. I did see a TikTok. I think they were lying and having a joke, but I can't be sure. They were like, just 2 people who found out that the Minecraft movie is a musical.
That's not true. I'm sure that's not true. I'm willing to bet Jack Black sings a song.
Yeah, see, that's where my brain went.
Yeah.
It'll be like, I'm Steve. So join us then. Share the podcast as well.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
And all of the places that you share things.
Ooh.
All of them.
Naughty. Bye.
Bye.